What is up, my dudes, my dudettes, and wrestling colleagues of all kinds? DanTheBeast 94 here, coming back at you with Q&As with DanTheBeast 94. That is me. So, before I go about on my travels today, as you guys know, I am going to M&J's Collectibles for a meet and greet with Kurt Hawkins, Just Incredible, and Maven, along with my Pro Wrestle Zone colleague, the Professor, Rick Del Santo. And today's Friday, and I owe you guys some questions, or should I say answers to your questions. So, the first three set of questions here are from my boy, no pun intended, MarkBoy316. And the first question he asked me is if you could do an interview with any current wrestler, who would it be? And one past wrestler, who would it be? One current wrestler, after watching his episode of 24 on the network, definitely R-Truth. I just been so engaged with the way he grew up and his lifestyle and just how he got into professional wrestling. I always considered him a great talent, a very underutilized talent, but at least he got the NWA World Title under his belt. So, and then a past wrestler, I'd probably. That's a tough one. I would probably have to say either X Pac, Sean Waltman, or Marty Jannetty. Uh, just because Marty Jannetty just seems out of my, always in like an intoxicated state of mind. Um, but I'm interested in his stories, and Waltman has been, clean these past couple years, but he always seems to have some interesting stories as well. Going on to question number two. If you have to assemble a War Games team 4-on-4 against Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Tully, who are your four superstars and why? Right off the back, Road Warriors, just because they had a brief feud during the 80s, and obviously one of my favorite tag teams of all time. And then the other two, right off the back, Magnum TA and Dusty Rhodes. Obviously, Magnum has some history with Tully Blanchard that is yet to be finished. And if his career wasn't cut short, I think he could have had a very lengthy run with the world title and with several feuds with Ric Flair and Tully. Same thing with Dusty Rhodes. He was always involved in that horseman angle of feuds. So, and I appreciate Dusty. So, and question number three. Not including the Horsemen, who were your favorite groups or factions? Favorite faction of all time would have to be the NWO. I've always been an NWOite, and since their days from WCW, I wasn't really a big fan of the NWO after like '98 when they started doing split factions. You had your Black and White or Hollywood. You had Wolfpack. Then you started getting LWO, and then they reformed in 2000 with Jared, and practically went downhill after that. I did like it when they came back in 2002. I thought they were going to have a really good lengthy run, but apparently that was the wrong time to bring back Hogan because everybody wanted to see Hogan as a babyface back in the red and yellow because he was practically a heel for half of his WCW career. Uh, yeah, definitely NWO. That's like top notch on the list. All right, the next two set of questions here are from Porter's Unboxing. Are you gonna get 2K Battlegrounds to game? I'm not really a big fan of arcade style games like that, especially when it comes to WWE. Uh, just haven't really been a big fan of it. I mean, if it was like one of the arcade games from the '90s, yeah. I am looking forward to getting Retromania though. Retromania is definitely one I am um, considering buying either for the Xbox or the Switch. But I'll think about it. I didn't buy 2K20, but we'll see. And then the next question he asks, if you were a GM of Raw and SmackDown or NXT, what would you do to make it better? What would I do to make it better? Have the shows have significant value, especially when they did like the first brand split back in 2002. It was like you didn't see guys go to Raw, you didn't see guys go to SmackDown, because if you saw guys go to Raw and SmackDown, it was like, gang affiliated, hey, you're on our turf, we're gonna fuck you up, stuff like that. I don't mean to elaborate it like that, but that's basically what it was, and that should basically be the same way for NXT. You come into our house, it's like, no, we're not gonna allow that. This is NXT. And I always like those little segments, like back in early 2002, like when you saw guys watching the other shows and they were just like, what the hell is this crap? Just stuff like that, and they were always making puns towards each other. Just that classic, that classic feuds, those classic promos that really just like hyped up the brand. That's definitely something out, a way of making it better. Um, Next question is from Gregory Kramer. Who is your favorite wrestler in Impact? Well, I'm kind of tied between two, so I'm going to name my favorite wrestler and my favorite tag team. Favorite wrestler right now, a lot of people may not like him, Ace Austin, just because he shows a lot of resemblance to Matt Taven. Don't tell him I said that, because I'm a big Matt Taven fan too, but that's why I'm really interested in Ace Austin. And he's still young. He's only like 23, 24. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where his career goes within the next 15, 20 years. And then my favorite tag team, they were the longest reigning Impact Tag Team Champions recently, the North. So I know one of my buddies, Devin, he did an interview with each member, so on his podcast. So I'm hoping on our podcast, the Pro Wrestle Zone podcast with me, Rick, DVD Freak, and JJ, that we can get a couple of those guys. But we got some big things coming soon, so stay tuned. And the last question is from Noah Ham. If I'm saying that right, Noah Ham. What are your top five wrestling matches? You already know the first one off the back. Owen versus Brett, WrestleMania 10. Greatest opening match of all time for WrestleMania, in my opinion. Number two would definitely have to be. See, guys got me stumbled because it's like there's so many matches, but I'm just gonna name at least five of my favorites. So Owen versus Brett, WrestleMania 10. You had Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn, Living Dangerously, 1999. Wow. Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat at the Chi-Town Rumble. One of my favorite out of their three matches. That was my favorite of all time. A more recent one, a couple years back, Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, NXT TakeOver Chicago. One of my favorites. And number five, I'm probably going to have to say Kevin Steen versus El Generico at Final Battle 2012. Definitely one of the best ladder matches in Ring of Honor history. And that about does it, guys. I'm about to get ready to go soon, and I'm ready. I'm hyped. First time I'm seeing wrestlers in 6 months since I did the video for Northeast Wrestling, and I did the kind of like the like a voting for the Road Warriors magazines, and I showed you what I got at the show. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I'm hoping I could get a shout out, so stay tuned for that as well. Until next time, guys. Oh, before I go, make sure you hit that like button. Leave your comments in the comment section down below, especially if you have questions for me that you would like me to answer for next Friday's Q&A. And subscribe, especially if you're watching my channel and you're not subscribed. What are you doing? Hit that button. Please and thank you. And until next time, DanTheBeast 94, signing off.